guys, welcome to today's video. I just want to preface this by saying sorry that my videos have been a little bit kind of catching up for the past week. Christmas kind of threw me off a little bit, if I'm honest. I was just catching up with myself, but now we're on track and I feel like I'm back in the groove of things. And because it's January, obviously we're going to be talking about a new project pan and ending my 2020 project pan. So this video is going to be talking about my 2020 project pan experience, summing it up, talking about the products that I used, what I finished, what I didn't finish, what's achievable, what's not achievable, to kind of help me to go on to 2021, and that will come shortly. I will be filming a whole separate video about my 2021 project pan and what I want to take forward with that. So let's discuss the products that I entered in 2020. I'm going to just shift my butt over here so that you can see the products that I'm going to be listing. I don't know why I bother lighting my candle, because you're not going to even see it, are you? But oh well. One whole year ago, I put 3 primers into my project pan. I had a green tea primer that started off at 19 grams. I don't know what it was when I finished it, but it's now finished. I also had a L'Oreal Lumi Magique primer that was 27 grams when I started, and again, I don't know what that was. It's finished now. And then I had the Primark vitamin primer that was 32 grams, and it's 17.46 now, but it's completely finished. Like, there is nothing left in it. I was going to just say, like, for the products that have been finished, a couple of them I don't actually have the weight on, because when I finished them I just recycled them and threw them away. That's something that I want to do in 2021, is not do that, so that I can show the products again. I don't know why you'd want to see that, but anyway, I'm just saying, for the products that have been finished, they won't have a final weight because they've been finished. So yeah, out of the 3 primers, I am proud to say that all 3 have been used. I was really happy about that. That is 3 products out of my project pan in total. Moving on to foundations, I had the Bourjois City Radiance Foundation. This was already started at 36 grams to begin with, and I completely finished that. I had the KVD Locket Foundation, which was pretty full. It was 120 grams of product. I didn't actually, and I think if you've been following my series, if you haven't, I will link up in the eye so you can go back and reflect if you wish. But I didn't actually finish this. I didn't enjoy this foundation at all, just because I think my skin type wasn't right for it. I have a very dry skin type, and this foundation was quite heavy coverage, quite drying, I found. So I did actually pass that on to Lily, who's got an oilier skin than me, and I was just like, look, if you don't get along with it, do what you want with it, you know, I don't care what you do, but it's no good with me, and there's no point throwing it away because there was still quite a lot of product left. So I passed that on to her, so that's another product out. And then I had the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundations. I actually treated this as one when I'm weighing it, but of course this is actually 2 foundations. So I had 4 technically, and these foundations weighed 195 grams to begin with, and now they are 168.57 grams. I'm going to just say these are finished. This one right here, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see, like, at the bottom there's like literally this much in there. Like, there's practically nothing. When you pump it, you have to really make sure it's been standing upright for a couple of days just to get like 1 or 2 pumps out. So I'm going to say this is finished. And the other one, the new reformulated one, I'm so over it. It's just so gross on my skin. So many people raved about this last year at the beginning of the year, and I'm just so over it. Like, I don't understand the hype. I prefer to the old formulation for my skin. I don't know if that's like a UK thing. I'm really not sure, because I know L'Oreal and Maybelline, those sorts of brands, do different things for every single country, but I was not a fan of the new formulation. So although it's not finished, I'm going to say it's done, because I've got this much left, I think, and I'm just really not enjoying it whatsoever. And I don't want to give it to anyone else, because, like, it's technically old, it's a liquid. I don't want to give it to anyone else. There's not enough product to warrant giving it to someone. So yeah, I'm going to say I've finished these 2 as well. So out of all 4 of those foundations, all of them made it out of my collection. Huzzah! Also, I just want to say all the packaging and everything that I have got is recycled. It's not just thrown away. I do make sure that it is recycled if it can be recycled. And also, since my project pan and things like that, Maybelline have introduced a recycling system where you can take in your makeup packaging, clean it all out and give it to them, and they will recycle everything. So that's what I'll be doing with all of the packaging. So don't fear, even though I've got like a little bit of foundation in these, I'll be washing them out and giving them to the recycling program to not be wasteful. I entered 2020's Project Pan with not just one concealer, but 4 concealers. I had the Revolution concealer, which was the twisty up one. I have this picture here. It was 17 grams, and I finished it all off. It was brilliant. I loved that concealer. Very comparable to the Maybelline Age Rewind. Very good for the value for money, and I would definitely repurchase that one again. I've had that twice now, I believe, in total, and I would definitely repurchase that again. I think that's a good hit from Revolution. So if you're looking for an affordable concealer, that is a really good one. I really enjoyed that. And then I also had the No. 700 Luminous concealer. This was also 17 grams, and I completely finished it. Didn't like the packaging whatsoever. The nib, unlike the Revolution one, the nib on the No. 7 one was like a hard foam with a hole, and I didn't like the packaging whatsoever. So I ended up just kind of squeezing it on and then using a brush to kind of buff it out, or a sponge. I just did not like the packaging, but the product itself was actually really, really nice. I just wouldn't purchase it again because, like I said, it just wasn't user-friendly packaging in my personal opinion. I then had the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. This started off as 8 grams. There was only a tiny, tiny bit left. This was an easy win in my eyes, and I completely finished that one too. It was a great concealer. Again, it's one of those things that I would happily purchase again. It's just a really great full coverage concealer. It's been like an OG classic for so many years for a very good reason. Really, really liked that one. And then I've got the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer. It started off at 14 grams and it's now 11.87 grams. I'm not even joking you, this is like the TARDIS. The other day I used it and I noticed that it was really difficult to get the product out, so I reckon there's like 1 to 2 uses maximum left in this. So what I've decided to say is that it is finished. I just need to use it 2 more times, so I'm going to say it's finished. I'm just going to keep it to finish it off, but because it's got such little use left, obviously I'm just going to say it's done. Keep it to use it. Obviously 2020 was not the year where we all went out and wore makeup every single day. I certainly didn't. I'm the sort of person that wears makeup to work every single day, and of course I was working from home for literally what felt like, well, literally 9 months of that year. So 9 months I was having to choose to wear makeup for me, not because I was going out anywhere. So a lot of things like this would have been used up such longer ago, and I would have probably used up all of this makeup so much quicker if 2020 wasn't a thing. So that's why I'm saying it's done, because it would have been if 2020 wasn't a thing, you know? So yeah, it's a good concealer. I wouldn't repurchase it again. It's nice, but nothing to write home about in my personal opinion. Okay, let's talk about face powders. I have the No. 7 pressed powder here. It started off at 66 grams and it's now 62.55 grams. It looks like this. I've got a good amount of pan in this. I've got only this big ring on the outside, and I think that's totally achievable to finish. I'm not going to say it's done. I'm just going to say I'm going to take it on to the new year to put in my project pan for next year as well. So unfortunately, I'm sorry, you will be seeing this in 2021's project pan, just because I feel like it's gonna be one of those easy wins. It's a lovely powder. It's nothing to write home about. I wouldn't repurchase it, but it wasn't horrible. Does that make sense? It wasn't, like I said, okay, I'm not going to repurchase it. It wasn't oh my god, I need this in my life. It wasn't life-changing. It was just a nice setting powder. It was a bit heavy under the eyes, if I'm honest, but on the face, it just seemed to give me a nice velvety finish, and that's the sort of thing I like. It was a very nice powder, so yeah. The Revlon Photo Ready powder, I mean, no pan. It went from 83 grams to 82.38 grams, which means I've used just over half a gram of powder, an entire year, over half a gram, that is it, half a gram. I've put a question mark by this, sorry I keep looking down, I've got my notes in front of me, but I feel like it's the sort of powder I put on and then I'm like, do I like my face? Do I want to reach for this? And I just don't think I reach for this because I think it's just a little bit drying for me. It's not velvety enough for my liking. I like a bit of luminosity. And I don't like to suck the oils out of my face, which I think this does. So I'm unsure of what to do with this. I'm going to hold it for now, or see if someone else wants it. If no one else wants it, I'm just going to I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it, but I don't want to bin it. I don't want to do anything with it. I'm just going to keep it if someone else wants it. Maybe Lily will want it, or my mum. Someone will want it, I'm sure. I don't want to use this anymore. And then lastly, I had this No. 7 pressed powder. I'd say something that I have learned is I don't know why I gave myself literally so much powder to use because I don't use powder that often, so I don't know why I gave myself so many powders to use. Like 3 powders was so unrealistic for me. I should have given myself 2, like 1 pressed, 1 loose. That would have been more realistic. So the number 7 loose powder was 84 grams when I started. It's now 80.05 grams. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Like, if my camera's gonna focus, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You wouldn't be able to see that I've actually even used this. It looks practically brand new. I've used 3.5 grams of it, and for a loose powder I feel like I should have probably been able to use a bit more because you just generally pick up more with a loose powder in comparison to pressed powder. I've put here that I'm going to pass this on. It's going to be a little bit like the Revlon Photo Ready. They're just going to sit outside of my collection, but just in like a little shoebox or something, and then whenever people, well, we're not going to be coming around now because we're still in tier 4, unfortunately, but I'm going to just keep them for if anyone wants one, and I'll just message a few of my friends and be like, if you want some of this makeup, it's going, like, you can come get it, I'll post it to you, whatever. So yeah, I don't want it in my collection anymore. It's been okay, it's just a little bit too drying for my skin. I've got very dry skin as it is, so loose powders for me, they either work or they don't. I have 2 setting sprays to talk about. This I think is shameful. Like, I think I should have got through more than this an entire year, and the reason I didn't is because I wasn't wearing makeup. And that's the thing, is with a setting spray, I wouldn't wear a setting spray if I was just going to pop on a bit of concealer and mascara, which is what I've basically been doing all year because I've not been going anywhere. I'm not going to be setting my face. I don't really care if my mascara runs off when I'm at home on my computer, you know? So I think this could be better, but because I don't know where 2021 is going to take us, I think I am going to put the same amount of setting sprays in for that year as well, just because I can't see us going out for more than half the year this year. So, I mean, not to be pessimistic, but I'm trying to be realistic. This is the Rimmel London Instafix and Go spray. It started off at 96 grams. Obviously it is mil, but I'm not going to start tipping it all out and measuring it. Started off at 96 grams and finished on 46.22 grams. I am going to say this is done because when I look at it, there is, wait, let me get it still. There's this much left of it, which sounds like a lot. Like, it's so dirty, I'm so sorry. It sounds like a lot here, but I only started using this, I'd say, September time, and I've literally just been using it to wet my brushes because I don't like it on my face. It's a little bit alcohol-y for me. I didn't realise how alcohol-y it was until I put it on my face and I was like, this is actually not that nice. It's got a bit of an unpleasant fragrance. It's a bit like chemically for me, and yeah, I mean, I'll carry on using it to wet my brushes, but I'm going to say it's done because it can just be my setting spray that I wet brushes with. I'm over it, I don't want to use it anymore, but I'm just gonna say it's done because it will be. It's only got this much left. It'll be done by this month, I'm sure. So I'll let you know in the next update, like, if I finished these products that I'm saying are done, but they're not like quite, because I only have a few uses left anyway. I also had the Colourpop Rose Quartz Spray. It started with 117 grams and I completely finished this product. This was actually a beautiful product. They don't sell them anymore, which is such a dire shame because I didn't realise how lovely it was until I started spraying it on my face, and my face, like, it doesn't matter what makeup I had on, it just made my face look beautiful. My skin looked so silky, and I think it's because I had glycerin in that it sort of smoothed my face and made it look all melted in. It was a beautiful setting spray. It was a true joy to pan. It wasn't a struggle. It was just very, very nice to use, so that's why that went so quickly. I gave myself 1 highlighter, technically 3, but I gave myself 1 highlighting palette, and that was the Loreal Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminating Palette. It has Ballerina, Gilded Honey and Peach Glow inside. This started off as 81 grams and it went down to 79.54, which means I only really used 1.5 grams of product. Now, there's 6 grams of product in here, and Ballerina I dipped into a couple of times, so I was expecting more. Like, I wasn't expecting that to go, to be honest. But I'm going to keep this and depot it and put it in a Z palette because I really, really like these powders. I'm going to show these to you. I'm really excited to show you. I hit 2 pans of this highlighting palette. Can you see? Right, this one is very, very evident, the Peach Glow. And then Gilded Honey, you can just see it just there. And then you can see Ballerina, like I said, I put my finger into it a couple of times. I used it as an eyeshadow, like a one and done with a bit of bronzer on most days where I was just at home and just on a Zoom or something like that. But this one is truly beautiful. I loved Peach Glow. I've actually got it, if the camera's going to focus, I've got it on my cheeks now. It's a really, really natural highlight. It's just nice and easy and simple and nothing can go wrong. It's just something really, really nice to go on the cheeks. I have actually got a full size of Gilded Honey because everyone raved about it back in the day. But I should have probably had a full size of Peach Glow because this one is nicer on my skin than Gilded Honey. But yeah, like I said, I've been really, really enjoying these. I'm really glad that I have panned them or got some pan in them. But I'm not disappointed that I haven't finished them. I mean, they're highlights, they're baked highlights at that as well. They're going to be more difficult to use than others. So I'm going to decant these out of this Mahusive packaging and pop them in a Z palette to just keep. And maybe one day I'll revisit them to maybe one day finish. But it was a pleasure using these all year, a real pleasure. I also want to say sorry as well because you probably saw that highlight in every single makeup description of every single video ever last year, so sorry about that. I had two single bronzers in my project pan. One that I'm going to just quickly talk about is the Bourjois Chocolate Bar Bronzer situation. It started off at 67 grams. I don't know what it was finally, like it'll probably be in one of the updates. Like I said, it's linked in the eye if you want to go see it. But I actually threw it out in the end because it wasn't a pleasure to use. It kept hard panning every single time. I tried everything that you guys told me to do. Get a spoolie and scrape the top. What else? Get some sellotape and rip it off. Or get a denser brush, get a looser brush. I tried literally everything that you guys told me to do. And even if it was possible to kind of rejuvenate that bronzer, I had such a toxic relationship with it by the end because every time I saw it I was just like, oh, I put so much effort into you and you've given nothing back. I didn't really like the tone of it when I got it on my face because it was patchy, because it kept hard panning, so the brush was inconsistent. I threw it out. I just didn't like it. It was not nice. But the other single bronzer that I did have was the Soap & Glory Solar Powder Bronzer. Again, sorry, this is probably another product that you saw in every single makeup, like what's on my face in the description bar for every single video. I'm really sorry about that, but I've actually really been enjoying this bronzer and I'm glad. It was a joy to use it. It has taken so long to use this. I don't know how a bronzer can last so long, but this started at 52 grams and it's now on 48.3 grams, 0.3 grams. Look at the pan in this. I am so proud of myself. Look at this. It's just like this tiny little rim now. And to get at this, I have to get, wait, where's the brush that I used? I use this Real Techniques brush and I like scrape it and then I use it as like a loose bronzer. It's actually what I've got on today. It's a really nice tone, I personally think. It's really warm, but not orangey. It's just like a really, really nice bronzer. It blends beautifully. It's actually something that I would consider purchasing again in the future once I've gone through my makeup and had a look at what I've got and picked out the bad and kind of see the wood from the trees a little bit. This is actually a really, really lovely bronzer and I would absolutely pick it up again. I really, really did enjoy it. I have said here it's done, but it's going to be one of those things that's like the concealer and the spray. I'm going to use it in the new year, keep at it, because I think there's such little left that it's almost like I don't want to throw it away because there's such little left, but then I don't want to keep it forever because there's such little left. So it's not going to be in my 2021 project pan, but I'm just going to be trying to use it up this month. So yeah, really, really happy with that. And I would have definitely finished it if it weren't for work being at home, basically. So that's why I'm saying it's done. I had two loose blushes. I had the Natural Collections Pink Cloud. It started at 8 grams and I had completely finished that blush, which is very, very exciting. And then I had the Natural Collections Sweet Cheeks blush, and that started at 9 grams and now it's like 9.38 grams. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not sure that those grammages are actually correct because I was using far less precise scales. You're probably seeing in these pictures that I'm using very different scales now. These are more precise. These are going to be the ones I use going forward. They're precise down to like the 0.1 gram, whereas the other ones were rounding up. So I could have had like 7.5 grams and it would have upped it to 8, you know? So yeah, Pink Cloud was totally finished. Because it was such a pale blush, I actually used it in combination with a lot of other blushes, so it's really easy to use and build up and kind of get through. Sweet Cheeks kind of got a little bit broken, so I'm not even going to take the lid off, but I mean, look at this poor soul. I have actually got this blush on now. I actually wrote down next to it, I'm over it and I'm binning it now, because not because I didn't like the colour or the consistency, but because it was broken, it's just more of a faff to use, and because there was such little product in it anyway, I was just like, oh, it's fine, I'm over it, let's just get rid of it. I've got so many other blushes, but how can I get rid of a blush that looks this beautiful? I'll tell you how, because I have over 50 of them in this drawer. That's how. Stop doing this to yourself. I'm going to empty this and recycle it. I'm over this blush simply because it's broken. I would 100% recommend these, purchase them again when I can see the wood from the trees a little bit more, but this was a pleasure to use and I was happy to use it up. Very nice. Okay, I had one whole face palette. This is the Benefit, what is it? The Benefit Cheeky Sweet Spot box of blushes. Oh, I don't know how old this is. This blush palette is at least 5 years old. And I know you're gonna be like, ew, what's wrong with you? Why would you keep something that's at least 5 years old? I'll tell you why. There's nothing wrong with it, god damn it. I'm not gonna throw it away and waste it if it's still performing beautifully. It started off at a very neat 260 grams, and it says here that it was only down to 258.33 grams. So again, I beg the question of how accurate that first measurement was, but I'm gonna just show you the pan on this, because I feel like the progress to you might not look a lot, but to me, this is so good. I was so happy about this. Look at this! I'm so excited. So Hoola is completely finished. I mean, it's got product a tiny bit there. Maybe I could just use that in my crease, but to be honest with you, I can happily throw this pan away. I don't really care too much. Coralista has a mahoosive dent in it. Very happy with this. Rocature, I didn't have any dent in, and now I have this massive one. Sugar Bomb, you won't be able to see, but out of the 4 quarters, for some reason this one has hard panned a little bit, but these other 3 quarters, maybe you can like see it if I like tilt it. I don't know, maybe you can't. Can you just see that there? Like it's got a little ledge. And this bit is being used a bit more. Dandelion I'm not a massive fan of, but I was using it a tiny bit in combination with a Balabamba. And I think my words were, or what I'd said was, as long as I finish these 3, I'll be happy to throw the rest away. What I'm going to do, similar to the Gilded, not the Gilded Honey, the Loreal highlighting palette, is depot these 5 and put them in a Z palette. I'm going to just get rid of this pan. I'm not bothered about that tiny bit of Hoola. Maybe I'll keep it just out on the side just to use in the crease or something, but there's like literally 1 to 2 uses left in that, so if it breaks, I don't really care. But I really want to get rid of this packaging. I don't want it anymore. It is tin. I don't want this damn brush either, that is for certain. But I really did enjoy using these, so I think I'm going to depot them, put them in a Z palette. I'm not quite ready to get rid of them yet, but maybe one day I will be. But I've just enjoyed playing with them, and I think I've done really well progress-wise. I'm really happy with this. I can actually get rid of this packaging. Finally, take these blushes out. Let's do it. I can take all these out, depot them, get rid of this entire massive piece of packaging, and just have the few blushes in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm very excited to do that. Okay, moving on, because this video is 1,000 years long, I'm so sorry. My MAC Charcoal Brown eyeshadow was 13 grams and it is now down to 11. Bearing in mind this is only supposed to be a 1.5 gram product, again, I beg the question of how accurate that first measurement was. We won't talk about it, but I'm going to keep it and use it. Again, this is kind of one of those things where it just won't die. But I don't want to get rid of it because I enjoy using it. I've actually got it in my brows today, and for me, I think this is actually very, very, very close to a perfect. Just realised I had like a bit of dandruff sitting in my head. How embarrassing. I think it's actually dry shampoo residue, but if you can still see it. Okay, I'm over it. It's one of those products where I still enjoy using it, so I'm not going to get rid of it just because it's the end of the year or because it's got a tiny, tiny bit left. It's literally like, look at this. The picture on the scales doesn't show how little there is. There's nothing on this side. I completely swept up into this side. There's breaking here. It's thickest on this side, but like I've only literally got half of this semicircle left because the rest of it's hitting pan. So I reckon I can finish this in 2021, but because I use a variety of different brow products, that's probably why it's not been used properly, but I'm going to keep it. It's such a tiny, tiny little thing in my collection and I enjoy using it, so what's the point in getting rid of it? My Colourpop Brow Pomade. My god, this thing won't die. It started off at 27 grams, is now on 25.9 grams, which means I've only used 1.1 gram. Ugh. This is a 3 gram product, which means I've kind of used a third of it, but again, begs the question of how accurate that first measurement was. This product won't die, and every time I open it I'm like, maybe it'll be dried out today, maybe I'll have to throw it away, maybe there'll be no other option but to say I've finished it and it's old. No, it carries on. This is what it looks like inside. It's actually looking like an absolute mess, and I don't know if you can tell, yeah, here you go, look, the whole thing has fallen out. Somehow this is still not dry. It's fallen out onto my hand, yet somehow it's still not dried out. It's like left residue on my hand. I only wanted to go dye because I have other brow pomades to use, including the same one but fresher, so I'm kind of like, but yeah, I think I'm going to keep it for a while longer until it dries out, which is what I'm trying to tell myself for the past 6 months, but I'm going to keep it, use it for a while. It's not done. I'm not saying that I've finished it, so yeah. And then the third and final brow product, I gave myself 3 brow products to use in 2021, was the Archery Brow Pencil. It started off at 8 grams and finished on 7.55 grams. I'm going to say this is done because the tip of it, this bit here, the felt tip liner, is starting to dry out to the point where it's just a bit intermittent and I really just don't have time for that. I've got so much other product that I don't have time to be shaking, drawing, shaking, rubbing on my hand, drawing, trying to warm up, rolling. I just don't have time for that. I've got so much other product that's fresh, sitting there, getting older and older by the day. I don't have time to be doing that. And the other side, the brow tip, there was only, not the brow tip, the brow pencil, there was only a tiny, tiny bit left, which is a little bit frustrating, and I was going to try and add this to like just the first month of January pan and just see if I could just use it up, but it's completely dried out. Like, there's no way. I was going to use it in my brows a minute, like for this video, but there's just no way. It's completely dead, so it's done. It's leaving my life. Oh, I also forgot I had the Pixie Brow Gel, which was 16 grams, and I completely finished that to the point where I got out my little spatula and I was just like spatulaing it onto my spoolie. That's how committed I was to that brow gel. Completely finished that. So out of 4 brow products I had in 2020, I have used up /2 are leaving my collection, which isn't ideal. If I'm honest, I thought I would have smashed at least 3 of those, like as in like got through them. I was anticipating this bloody brow gel to still be here at the end, like this brow pomade, but it's okay. I think 2 out of 4 is like better than 1 out of 4, but yeah, I could do better, I think, this year for brows, because it's something I apply every day anyway, so I'm like, how am I not finishing these products? I had 2 black eyeliners. I had the MUA Eye Define Felt Liner. Someone commented, I think it was Fiona. Hello, Fiona. And I think it was you that said, how can you measure if it's used up? Surely it just dries out and that's when you know, like, does it really have a weight? And I was sitting on this and I was like, I think you might be right. So I have measured them anyway, but I probably won't be next year if I have another eyeliner, which I probably will do. But the MUA eyeliner was 5 grams and it is now 5.59 grams. Again, begs the question of if it was really accurate at the beginning. I'm going to get rid of this because it is intermittent. It's a lovely eyeliner, but the problem is that I do one eye and then I do the other one, and this one's like dark grey and this one will be like jet black, where it's just like not juicy enough. So I've got so many eyeliners to use that I think I can just brave it and be like, goodbye, friend. So this one's going to leave me. And then I had the Soap & Glory Super Cat Liner, which was 8 grams, and this measured to 7.48 grams afterwards. So maybe Fiona. Maybe. They do measure. I don't think they do. I think you're 100% right. I think I was just on something, but I have to keep it now for consistency, okay? But I think I might keep this just until it starts getting like the MUA one, where it's like inconsistent, because this one is still pretty juicy and I have used it a couple of times. The Super Cat liners are really, really good from Soap & Glory. I've had a few of these in the past and they are really, really good. So it's not like I don't enjoy using them. They're a really easy felt tip liner. So I don't think I'm going to put it in my project pan for next year. I'm not sure yet, but I want to just keep a hold of it at the moment. So yeah, I got rid of 1 out of 2 black eyeliners. It could be worse. It could be none. The STYL Magnificent eyeshadows, or Magnificent Metal eyeshadows, the Shimmer and Glow, Glitter and Glow, whatever they bloody are eyeshadows, the liquid ones. I think I had I think I had 6 of these, or did I have 7 of these? Cannot remember. You're seeing a picture here. They started off altogether at 124 grams. I didn't even bother measuring them because I've got rid of a couple of them because I used a couple up and then they all started drying out. Like literally one after the other. I went to go apply them and they were like crumbly. I'm like, oh. And I tried to moisten them up, but of course you can't put like an oily thing in them because they're going on your eyelids and it would just slip inside everywhere. I tried to rejuvenate them, but alas, it just didn't happen. So I'm going to say I finished all of them, even though they dried out before I could use them. But I'm going to say that I use them because they're exiting my collection. Go me. Whoop, whoop. Okay, we have 3 Colourpop lippy sticks here. These are all liquid lipsticks. These 3 shades here. I have Mama Strip, which I have on my lips today. My hair is doing my head in. Mama Strip and Calypso. So, they all started off at 26 grams. Strip came to 25.4. Calypso came to 25.52. And Mama came to 25.75. So, again, begs the accuracy of the first measurement. I did try and use these as much as possible, especially at the beginning of the year. Like, between January and March when I was going to work, these were the only lip products I was wearing, especially Strip and Calypso, not so much Mama. But I'm actually going to get rid of these because I've got Strip on my lips today and the formula's not very nice anymore. It's definitely not gone off to the point where it's disgusting, but gone off in terms of like, the formula's changed. And it's changed so much from what it once was that I'm like, should this be on my lips? So I don't want these anymore. They're beautiful colours. I'm not going to be repurchasing them again simply because liquid lipsticks are something in my collection that I was a massive fan of back in ye old day, and I'm not anymore. I like them every now and again, but I'm not a massive collector of them. I'll just pick out a few shades that I like and keep them like that. So yeah, all lovely shades. If you're after them, great. I don't even know if Colourpop do them anymore, but they're all leaving my collection. Also on the topic of lips, I have the Jeffree Star lip liners. I had 4 of them. I actually only weighed 3 because I found the 4th like way after and I was like, it's fine, we'll just add it in but not like count it. So these started off as 22 grams and my remeasurement was 20 grams. Doesn't surprise me, I used quite a lot of them, especially Celebrity Skin, Allegedly and Calabasas, and on Nicole, the red one, I didn't use too much just because I'm not a massive red wearer. These lip liners aren't very nice. I know he's reformulated them since. I personally do not like these lip liners. I think they are drying, I think they pill. I don't think they layer nicely with anything that's not also super drying. I will be keeping them because I don't want to throw them away. I will happily use them. I don't want to do a whole year of using them again. I'm sure I'll reach over them for time, like across time, but I'm just going to put these back in my collection. I didn't use them up. That's a fail whale. I didn't think I'd use them up, but it's because the formulation wasn't that exciting to use. Like I'd have to force myself to use them, so that's why they weren't used up. But oh well. And then finally, the 3 eyeshadow palettes that I had in this project pan. I did say at the very beginning of this project pan in 2020, like last year, that I knew I wasn't going to finish an eyeshadow palette. I'm not dumb enough to believe that I was going to finish 3 eyeshadow palettes, let alone 1. But my goal was like, at first, was to hit pan, any pan, on any of these palettes. Like, I wanted to just hit 3 pans across these 3 eyeshadow palettes. And the reason I picked these Revolution palettes was because they were sitting stagnant in my collection and I just literally wasn't picking them up. And I thought, let's go for it. Let's try them out. Let's attack them all year and just give them a good fighting chance. So there's not been a great deal of change. The purple palette, which was Reloaded Visionary, went from 113 grams to 112.59. I used this probably last year, literally maybe like 5 times. You can see from the palette, like this has barely been used, like barely. honestly barely. So I'm going to pass this on to a friend if they want it. It just, there was something about it I just didn't want to pick up. I'm not going to be brokenhearted if none of my friends want this, because going on to my second palette, I'll quite happily keep this for one reason, and that's not going to be part of my eyeshadow collection, but it's going to be part of kind of when I want to dress up and do costumey makeup, because my Revolution Iconic Division Reloaded palette, you'll see has some massive dents in it, because when I turned into the Grinch for Christmas, I'll link that video up there if you want to go see it. It's the 25th door of my DIY advent calendar. I dug into all these shadows to create face paint almost into my foundation to tint it green. So this of course went from 109 grams to 107.76 grams. Doesn't surprise me that this has got the most used from it for that reason. If a friend wants this, like in this condition, they are more than welcome to have it. Like, they are more than welcome to have it, because I'm not going to be keeping this for my eyes. I'm going to be keeping to destroy with my other makeup, to just tint my face if I want to. So that's going to be, I'm going to say it's leaving my collection. Like, these two are leaving my collection as well, because I'm not going to keep my eyeshadow palettes. I then had the brown palette, which was the Reloaded Velvet Rose. This is the one I use probably the most day to day, just because it's nude. It's easy. This went from 114 grams to 112.61 grams. It just looks like this. You can see that there's a lot of movement, a lot of touchy going on here. I use this quite often. It's very, very nice. The thing is I have the real version of this, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. So I was going to keep this, and I was like, wait, why would I keep it when I have what it's duping behind me that's never being used? Like, that's ridiculous. So I'm going to pass this on. I think any one of my friends would really like this. I'm like struggling to get rid of this because I've enjoyed it that much, but I've got it already. Like, I've literally got it already, so why would I keep two of them? So yeah, I'm going to say that all three of these are exiting my collection. They're not going back in my eyeshadow drawer. If anything, they're going to sit and just kind of sit on the side, and if I need them for anything, I'll grab it. But my friends are welcome to take these because they're all right. But I've got so many other eyeshadows that they're nothing that I love and I think it's worth keeping in my personal circumstance. So that is it. My God, I'm knackered. Okay, I've just added this all up, and to summarise, 25 items are leaving or have left my collection. They will not be going back in my drawers. They are leaving, they have been used, they have left, they have been gone funny, whatever. 25 items have left my collection. 7 items I am going to take to the new year, or have taken into the new year to carry on using, such as the MAC Charcoal Brown Eyeshadow, so things like that. I am taking on and carrying on using them because they've got a little bit left. So when it says 7 that I'm going to take on, there'll be a very, very quick 7. And then 3 items I am either depotting or just putting straight back in my collection, and those 3 items are the Loreal highlighters, the Benefit Cheek Palette blushes I'm going to decant, and my Jeffree Star lip liners to go back in my collection. So out of 35, 25 items are gone. I'm really, really excited about this. This feels like a lot. This feels like a good amount gone. It's shown me what has been achievable. Again, because 2020 wasn't a normal year and because I wasn't wearing as much makeup as I would have done, this would have probably been 30, I'd say. It could have easily been 30 because I've got 7 here that are to use, you know, imminently because they have a little bit left. So that could have easily been used up if the year was normal. So I'm going to say 30 was very, very achievable. And those 3 extra items did contain more than just 1 item. So I'm really happy with that, and that's kind of set me on a good path of what is achievable, what's not. Why did I have myself 3 powders for a dry skin person for the whole year? Like, I don't think that was achievable. And also it allows me to think for my next project pan, 30 items is probably a good amount, and I can say that 30 items will be used. I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. I'm really happy with the progress I made. I find it so satisfying to have used these products up. It makes me feel less bad that 158 million products entered my life in 2020, as well as everything else. It makes me feel good that at least 30 left. I am definitely going to be doing this in 2021. Project panning is something that I have discovered in the recent year, and I want to continue doing again because I find it really exciting, and I implore you to do the same. Even if it's just 1 or 2 things, you're like, these 2 things I'm going to get done by the end of the year, and you work on them and it's enjoyable. And as soon as it becomes like not enjoyable anymore, you stop. You say, okay, I either want to take a break from this and put it back in my collection, or actually, why am I not enjoying this? Because I'm not liking the product, so I'm going to get rid of it, just like my Bourjois bronzer. I'm just going to get rid of it. So yeah, 25 items gone, soon to be 32 once I finish those 7. So I'm really, really happy with that. I hope you have enjoyed Project Pan Series 2020. If you have, do not forget to give me a good old thumbs up. If you're excited for Project Pan 2021, ring the bell, because I'm going to be uploading that soon. Probably a couple of days within this one, perhaps. I'm not too sure. I need to film it first, so a couple of days within this one, but that will be up soon. So do stick around if you want to watch what I'm going to be panning, depotting, using up, throwing out, trying, experimenting with in 2021. Hopefully it's a year where I use a little bit more makeup. I'm hoping. Thank you so much for all the support and sticking around with me throughout Project Pan and my Project Pan series. This video will be in the playlist for Project Pan 2020, and obviously I'll have a new playlist for 2021, so very excited. Thank you guys for watching. I really, really do appreciate you. I hope you are well. Tell me down below what you panned in 2020, if you panned anything, and what you plan to pan in 2021. I really, really am intrigued to know. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!